My toxic trait is waking up in the morning and making content without getting ready. It is what it is. What do you want? Do you need a reference library as a collector when we have the entire internet to look things up in? Yes, I think we do. Keeping it real right now, this is not the book I thought we were going to start with. I totally had a different book, actually a set of books in mind, but I didn't want to move a box. Yeah, literally, that's the truth. I did not feel like moving a box to get down to the other shelf. And I knew this was going to be probably my second or third book, so I said, let's just start here. So what is this book? This is the Ultimate Barbie Doll book by Marcy Mielo. Is that how you spell it? Malio. This is the Ultimate Barbie Doll book by Marcy Malio. And I think this is a must, and I'm going to show you why. This is a hardcover book, and it is this many pages. But inside here, it's basically a guide to all of the different dolls that were released from 1959 to 1995, which, yes, it's, 25 years old, more. But for those first 30 years, for the first 3 or 4 decades of Barbiedom, this book covers a lot of ground, including the really popular superstar era, of the 80s and into the 90s. So, sneaky little shit. What I love about this book is that it gives you the basic information for all the different dolls. For any doll that was released, it will tell you the body markings, the body style, the hair colors, the lips, the brows, the eyes. So, because a lot of dolls really are similar and you're not sure what you're looking at, especially when you get into the 80s and the 90s, they are very similar. So, you may not know exactly what it is you're looking for or looking at. And it could just be a difference in eye color or a difference in hairstyle. It will tell you a high ponytail or side swept bangs or whatever it may be. And it even touches on the fashion as well as box markings. So that's important too. What do you need? That's Sam, who was snoring the other day. Oh, I didn't even realize there was a cat behind me. He wanted to be in the video too. This is the waiting place. So when they want me to do something like take them outside, this is what the cats do. They're not outside cats, they're inside cats because outdoor cats live about 7 years. Inside cats can live 15 or 20 years. So I do it for them and for me because I'm selfish and I want them to be around a long time. But they do get short, supervised visits to the backyard. What are you doing, Sam? He said, I don't want to be held. And then, yeah. He said, I don't want to be held. I want you to take me outside. He was asleep a minute ago. That's why I started doing this. Sam moved into the backyard and screamed his head off until I took him in. But I also say, maybe we just kidnapped him and have been keeping him hostage for 12 years. And he's been trying to escape and we keep him locked up. This is Cootie, or Cooter, because when I was a kid, I loved the Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah, it's cringe now, but those boys were cute. But really, it was a character on True Blood as well. Is really where I got the name, but I've always loved Cooter. If you've ever gone to Nashville, you can go to Cooter's Garage and see all the Dukes of Hazzard merch, which, So let's get back to the book. Not only does this cover Barbie, but it also covers her friends and family. So there are chapters in here for Francie. There are chapters in here for Tootie and Todd, for Stacy, and of course for Ken. So if you're trying to identify a doll that may have been redressed or is undressed, this can really help just by looking at, and they have pictures of everything, close-ups of all the faces. So you can really look at how the makeup is applied, like, oh, they have 3 lashes, oh, they have 7 lashes. And when you do that, then you really can get a sense for, oh, I'm pretty sure this doll is this one. And I would say 99% of the time, you're able to identify something successfully. And, of course, I'm wrong sometimes, but most of the time I'm not. Does it matter? No, not really. I guess if you're selling or you're just curious, you want to know what you have in your collection, you want to know what this old doll is. Um, and then just really flipping through this and looking at all the amazing dolls through the years and looking at how Barbie has evolved and how Ken has evolved and how even more interesting I think are her friends. Like, how what happened to Midge? How has Christy evolved over the years? How has Black Barbie been represented? You know, is that the focus of this book? It's not. But it is a really nice sort of mini journey. And it's just nice to be able to see the basic information without any sort of bias or context so you can make your own judgments. The world has been a very different place over the course of the last 60 years. And, that's reflected somewhat in this book. Also, at the end of this book, I think, if I'm not mistaken, do I have the right one? It does have some gift sets and special editions, in addition to all the different friends. It includes porcelain Barbies. It includes, you know, uh, Native American Barbies. I think that's what they called in this book, that chapter. Even friends like Stacy and Kevin are in here. And then in the back, there's a complete index. So if you know the name of like, oh, I had this doll, it was called Peaches and Cream. You can look it up in the index and go to that page and find out more information about the doll. So I really do like this book. I think this, if you're going to collect anything from the 60s, 70s, 80s, you definitely want to get this book and have it on hand. It's worth it. Most of these, of course, are out of print or, they might be available. You can certainly find them online. But I do think it's worth it to have it if you're serious about what you're identifying. Can you still do it on the internet? Yes, absolutely you can. There are some good sites out there, but there aren't a lot. And they all tend to focus on different things. And they're not as comprehensive. That's the right word. This is a little more comprehensive than the others. This does not do values. There are value guides that give you the price of things. Even 20 years ago, those were out of date like that. So I don't rely on these for values, but once you go in here, you identify what doll it is, then you can go to sold items on eBay to find the values of certain things. And, just search for whatever you're normally going to search for. Go to the filter for those who don't know. Check on sold items. You have two options, completed items and sold items. Completed items may not have been sold. So somebody can say, I want $10,000 for this piece of paper, and that'll be in the completed items. But you really want to look at the actually sold items. What are people really paying for this stuff? And I like to sort it by price, and I sort of take out the outliers. Yes, there's always going to be a couple that are going to be way higher than the norm, and a couple that are going to be way lower than the norm, but you're going to see that sort of mid-range of value for whatever kind of doll you're looking for. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the I know I've talked about this before, the expert fallacy, where you think something is so obvious that you sort of take it for granted that everybody knows how to do that. But if you're new to collecting or you haven't used eBay or Mercari or Etsy or whatever it is, even though you're not supposed to sell that stuff on Etsy. Etsy is supposed to be for handmade stuff, not reselling, but I digress. You forget that not everybody knows how to do that. So a little tip that may or may not help you. So let me know in the comments what book you want to see next or what topic you're interested in, and then I'll find a book that matches it. Or if there's one you've heard of that you know of, let me know that. And yes, I'm still doing dolls. We're going to get back to that. I feel like any day where I don't post a doll that is completely, not wasted, but I failed. That's the word, honestly, that came out. I failed because I didn't post doll content that day, like an actual doll. So I try to post at least one video of a doll. That's like the main thing. And then try to do something different, depending on what's going on. I might do something fun. I might do a trend. I might do something like this. I'm actually thinking about maybe just running the gamut and just doing all the books in a row, like 10 videos or 5 videos or whatever I end up doing. This might be the only video for all we know. and sort of getting that out of the way, if that makes sense. Not out of the way, but I don't want to string it out because I definitely have projects that I started, never went anywhere, or ones that I had a good run. Like I have part 17 of certain things that will continue, but I just haven't got there yet. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments. Let me know. Like and subscribe. Follow me for more crazy doll content, or don't. I can't tell you what to do.